My name is Rjpasini. Today is November 1st, 2017. And if this is the first time coming to my YouTube channel, I do the reseller news. I also cover other topics on my channel with sneak peeks, demo videos, intro videos. And the reason for these videos is to give you, potential eBay buyer, a little insight as to what I have to offer, and as far as the demo, sneak peeks, and intro videos. And in regards to reseller news, that I share with certain topics from alerts I get from Google and other sources, and I just want to share these information with you guys. If you're interested in reading any of these articles, I will tell you the website. You can go there and check them out for yourself. I don't read all the documentation verbatim because there'll be too much stuff to read, and I just want to share this news with you. A lot of people may or may not be interested in these articles I share as far as the resellers, but I thought it'd be nice to just give it out there and let you guys decide for yourself. For those who are new followers on the YouTube channel, thank you very much for subscribing. I hope that I could bring more better content to hold your interest as much as mine, to make it more interesting for me to keep wanting to do these videos. I love doing them. I enjoy doing them. Apparently there may be some people out there might not find them informative or watch worthy, like to spend time looking at them, and that's totally understandable. I just like to share these type of topics with you guys. I know there are other people out there that do the same or similar thing like I do, but I like to share this information with you guys. So I'm going to bump out of the screen here, and I'm going to jump onto the site. I'm going to have to put on my glasses in the meantime because I got quite a few things, and I can't see reading these things without them. So let's start over here. Here you can see over here, this is e-commerce bites. This is on November 1st, 2017. They're talking over here about not the regular eBay sales slump. I don't know how you guys been doing. Mine have been coming on and off. There are, it's funny, I do follow other sellers on there, top rate sellers, and I can't really mention names because I don't remember offhand. I don't want to just start throwing names out there, but I was watching a couple of them, and one seller seemed to have sales for every day of the month. And I'm like, wow, that's great. But when I looked at the listings, they had like over 2,000 listings. I don't have that many right now. I only think I have 369 or something like that. And you can only do what you could afford, so to speak. But yeah, some sellers do good, and that's very impressive. I'm really happy for them, But right now that's not working for me. But as over here, as you can see here, basically, if you want to read this again, it's the e-commerce bites site. It's over here, ecommercebites.com. You can read the whole article. It is for November 1st. And that is the title, not the regular eBay sales slump. And it says over here, if you search eBay forums and reports of sales slumps, it seems like you always find threads where seller reports poor sales periods. It's par for the course, whatever. But every once in a while, there's an antidote, evidence that there is something more going on. And the past couple of weeks is one of those terms. And then it goes on here, it goes on to talk about a little over here. As we received online posts, we have read that the point to a sudden drop in sales by the number of sellers. Here are some of the threads, and you could read them that were sent to Ina. Steiner, that's the one who owns e-commerce bites. And it says over here, has anyone else been seeing slow sales for the last few weeks? That was October 27th. And then it says your huge reduction in traffic to listings, huge reduction in sales. Is promoter listing causing this? I don't know. I don't deal with promoter listings. I did a video on promoted listings and that why I don't use them, and I got a response from a follower that said that they used them and they had pretty good stats with them. They had pretty good luck with them. Again, I don't know. I don't really deal with it. I was thinking about checking into it, but I don't know right now. For me personally, I don't think it's a good way to go right now for me. So I'm still thinking about toying with the idea, but it's not for me right now. Here over here, you have here low or no sales. That's been true for me. I get them sporadic, to be honest with you. I don't get the sales like I thought I would be getting. Again, I don't have thousands of items up on there on eBay as well. I think I talked to the people in the, I mentioned some of the videos to mention to people that that do follow me that I don't have the storage facilities to do it right now. It's not in the budget, and for me to rent a bigger place, it wouldn't be worth it for me. The money is just not, it doesn't warrant me to go into a bigger storage facility right now, especially when the sales slow and you're basically sweating month to month trying to make sales, no less, and let alone to pay your bills. So for me right now, that's not the way to go. But again, you could read this here article here. The comments you could read. I like the comments sometimes. Sometimes people leave some brash comments. There are specific followers of the e-commerce bites, and if you click on here, comment 74, and you can read some of the people have, they do leave it. Like these look like the same people because I do follow this website here, and some of the people do leave comments, and sometimes they're okay, and sometimes they're a little brash, but you know what? It is what it is. Like over here, this guy Bob V. October has probably been my worst month in a bad year. Something started happening in the middle of March this year and got far worse in October. It's been my biggest slump in 8 years of selling. And then you got one over here, eBay, Shill Brewster, whatever. This person talks about themselves, about what's going on with them, and go on and so on and so forth. And you can read these here, and like I said, there's 74 of them. I'm not going to read the whole thing verbatim. So let's move right along over here. Again, with eBay, now the other thing that we'd be talking about is the iPhones. This is a ZDNet and ZDNet.com. They're talking about the iPhones here, and they're saying, in some cases they're being scalped. This one here says, this one particular one here, should you upgrade your iPhone iOS to 11.1? I did on my iPhone 5S. I don't see anything problems with it. It says over here is out, but should you upgrade or should you wait to see if there's any potential pitfalls? I had no problem with this so far. Then again, I got the iPhone 5S. It works for me. I never decided to upgrade. I can't afford to upgrade anyway, to be honest with you. It's too expensive. The phone itself is what I think if you go with the newest one is $1,000, and then you get the other ones like just the iPhone 8 or the new one that came out is $700-800. I bought my phone pre-owned off of eBay, to be honest with you, and I got it for a lot cheaper than that. But they just talk about it here with the iPhone 8, how to force a restart and enter recovery in DFU mode. To me, I'm not really crazy with all the bells and whistles. My main purpose of my phone is for emergency purposes. When I go to a thrift store on occasion, I don't use it all the time, but when I go if I'm at a thrift store and I need to look something up, that's when I'll take it out. But for the most part, I don't really use my phone for that much, that much usage like that, like these people want. Some people live on their phones and they text all day, and it's like an appendage. They can't live without it. We all need them, and in this type of business, or even whether you're not in this business, we need them for personal use. But then again, with this iPhone, this is for, again, this topic here is for the upgrade to the iOS 11.1. This is about scalpers now. It says over here, scalpers are selling the iPhone X pre-orders on eBay for up to $60,000. Now, I haven't seen any ad like that, but on the selling on eBay, if there are people. They're not saying for one, but they're pre-orders, but it's going up to $60,000. I'm just saying it's phenomenal because, if you wait a little longer, they say the law of supply and demand, they might come down a little. I'm not saying they're going to come down a whole drastic, amount, but sometimes it pays to hold off on it, and it's like buying a new car. They said sometimes when you buy a new car, before you think about it, it's always good to maybe get something a year or 2 years old because you might have recalls on it. There might be bugs in the car or whatever. You might get a car that might have some kind of defective, mechanisms or whatever in there. So sometimes it's always good to wait. It's better to just put the brakes on and just take your time before even considering upgrading. But this one over here, it says over here, if the months of hype, the iPhone arrives in just a few days, and then it goes on to talk about the new product. And pre-orders are most expensive, which went on sale for $60,000. I don't think that's what one phone went for. They're talking pre-orders, as you can see here. So don't, don't get misconstrued with that, thinking one iPhone sold for $60,000. But then again, you never know. But over here, TechCrunch notes that scout for eBay phones for an average of $1,500 for a 64 gigabyte model. Hey, if people want to pay for that, go for it. That's up to you. Then over here, it says, while there are doubtlessly some Apple fans willing to pay an extra to secure an iPhone X sooner, it appears that some scalpers are pushing the limits, which anyone would really pay $30,000 for an unlocked silver 256 gigabyte model. I don't know. No phone is worth that to me. I'm sorry. I would not, go crazy with the phone like that. That's total insanity. Now here's a person here. It says a new listing, brand new. You look at the price here. I mean, this is insanity, folks. I'm sorry. I mean, if these are true listings, which I'm sure they are, I don't know. I mean, that's what it looks like. Okay, 256 space gray unlocks model. Okay, 20,000, 30,000, and this one over here. I mean, are they serious? I mean, is this Apple? Is this the Apple company, or is this one particular item? I don't know. Anyway, moving right along, you're going to probably see a couple articles up here. There was way too much stuff to put up, folks, so I'm going to probably buzz through this quick. I got another video I want to do in a little after I do the reseller news, so I don't want to spend too much time. Here's one over here. It says marketplaces are horrible, so why do we sell on them? It says over here, everyday marketplace sellers deal with returns, abuse, unfair metrics, rude buyers, and declining sales. Why do they put up with it? Again, this is off Web Retailer. You could read that there. They talk a little about it over here. It says, well, it basically is talking about over here. It says we've been selling smartphones, tablets, accessories on our website, eBay, and Amazon for almost 3 years now. Our sales are very good last year, but now they have almost halved. We are also opening our first outlet store in about a week's time. You know something? Hey, join the club. We're all going through the same thing, This company here is, I don't know if it's a big company or not, but they're pretty brave to want to go into a store. I don't know if they're talking about an eBay store or a regular storefront. It looks like a factory or first outlet store, so apparently they want to go into a brick and mortar. That's what it says anyway. Then it says over here, let's begin with eBay, where some buyers abuse loopholes in the money-back guarantee return damaged items, which they delivered in the full working order. I'm going to probably be doing a video on something after this here, because I have a couple issues I want to discuss. I'm not going to discuss on the reseller news right now, but what this guy is talking, or this article is talking about, I have some things I want to enlighten and bring focus here to other sellers as well. It's getting to be an ongoing problem, and I will talk about it in the next video, but I don't want to do it in the reseller video. Next one, moving here, Poshmark. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. Poshmark, this is a new way to buy and sell fashion. I guess this is good if you're going to sell clothing, women's clothing, I guess men's, women's. That'll be a buy and sell. I didn't really deal with them. I'm sure they're good. They deal with all top brand companies and stuff like that. Like if you click on this here, Gucci, let's see what happens here. You'll get, this is probably what's on their site. And like if you were to buy this here, this is, I guess, from Luxury Pro. I guess these are the sellers that are selling this stuff. Buy it now. You could use it, buy it now with PayPal. I guess these are the sellers here, but I never really dealt with it. I really am considering, because I do want to sell more clothes. I would like to get more in the clothing market and get out of the hard goods stuff, like printers and Xbox guitars and stuff. I know there's a lot of money in electronics, but I'm kind of like getting a little away from it. I like to try to move on to something else, But we'll see what happens here with this here. But this is Poshmark. If you guys are not familiar with it, again, it's telling you to buy and sell here, so you might want to check into this here. It says list an item for less than 60 seconds. Shop for new and gently used items at up to 70% off of retail. So you might want to check into this, people. And you could sign up with Facebook, Google, and then you also email. Okay. Next one, we're gonna probably be bouncing back and forth here. I want to arrange these things in order, but I just got a little out of hand. Again, this is here. This one here is in the news.com AU. It says the iPhone prices you don't want to pay for scalpers on eBay. So we already talked about that a lot on that one there. There's all crazy price. I guess they're over there in Australia going through the same situation. Why not? If they're all selling on eBay, right? So let's bump out of this one here. I'm going to click this one out. And over here, now you can search using the eBay image system. And, you know, I checked it out. It works. It's okay. It's got little bugs in it. I don't know what I typed in. I was typing something in that I had here. I took a picture of it, and it brought other related things to the item. I'm not sure what it was, if it was a camera, but it brought some other items into it as well. So it's got a little bugs in it, but I guess once they iron out those bugs, it's going to be really good. I'm sure it's really good. I mean, it does work. I tried other things, but there was a couple things that it was a little fluky with. So they're working on that. I'm sure it's going to be a good thing. And then over here, of course, you got the articles. Again, this is off of makeuseof.com. That's an MUO, and you could check them out as well. And over here, then talks about little articles on how to make more money selling on eBay to maximize. And you could read this here if you're interested in reading this article here. Then we go back over here. First, Amazon destroyed retail. Now it's coming for Starbucks. I tell you, this guy is moving into a lot of things, a lot of areas here. You know, he bought Whole Foods, right? And he's got a bookstore. I was looking at one of the things. They had a picture of bookstores he got into. I don't know, Barnes and Noble's even in business anymore. It seems like this guy is buying up a lot of things. Hey, you know something? God bless the guy. He's got the money to do it. You know, it's you know, the only thing I feel bad for is I'm not saying Starbucks is going to run a business, but you know, when you got a big monolithic corporation like that, you know, buying into all these areas, it hurts kind of like the retailing site. But then again, I should say retail sector. But then again, it is what it is. There are a lot of things going on with retail, and I got an article I'm going to read afterwards here. Internet retailer. I just want to read an article really quick because a lot of people say, well, a lot of brick and mortar stores are closing up, but this article I'm going to read, this one I won't particularly read, it's only in one page, and I just want to go over it really quick with you guys. But it says over here, like you see the article, it says it was foregone conclusion that Amazon was going to kill retail. Now your favorite coffee store is in its sights. Well, I don't go to Starbucks. I go to Dunkin' Donuts. So I hope it doesn't go out to Dunkin' Donuts. But anyway, moving right along, you can read that article again. That's in zdnet.com, and you can read the rest of this if you like. Okay, now also another topic here. This is from Tame Bay. Amazon eyes up prescription drugs. So apparently it seems like they're doing that. It says the next retail frontier that Amazon is eyeing up with a view to disruption seems to be prescription drugs. So you could see where we're going with this, folks. I mean, Amazon is getting involved in everything. They're dipping their feet in all these different situations with different markets. And it's amazing, you know, what they're doing. Again, you know, hey, listen, if you could do it, the guy can. But the only thing I can say again is, you know, I don't. Certain things, I look at it this way. You know, whatever you specialize in. I'm not saying, you know, it's bad to venture out to different things, but you know, if you're into retailing or online e-commerce, try to focus on that rather than going to all different directions. I mean, I'm not saying it's, you know, that old saying goes, put all your eggs in one basket. It's no good, but you know, it seems like they're growing in leaps and bounds here, and I think, you know, this is not a question with growing pains. This is just a question of going at the market and trying different things. And you know, hey, more power to you if you can get it to work. You know, that's good. I'm sure he'll have no problem with it. But as you can see, that's what the next thing is they're going after as far as that part. Over here, this one here is from Tech Radar. They talk about why wait for Black Friday. 2017 deals start this week. Okay, and this is for today. I did pull this information off. I don't know if they also have a date on here, but they have eBay deals on Black Friday 2017. You click this on here, and then it talks about over here, you know, Black Friday deals and stuff like that. And you can read this article again. This is off Tech Radar, and we'll see what happens. You know, this is you're going to get some, you know, early discounts if you shop now. That goes with that saying. That's pretty much, this is the month for it. When you think about it, next month is Christmas, right? Well, time flies. Here's another one. It's not Black Friday yet. It might as well be early with the eBay sale. Again, they talk about it. Talk about, you know, same situation here. And then they have a little thing over here. Don't miss. Amazon just launched its countdown to Black Friday event with 10 killer deals. And then you could read about this as well. This is for November 1st. They're talking about $289 Intel Core, I guess quad-core computer, I believe, right? I believe that is, unless it's a motherboard. I don't really sure. And then they're talking on November 6th. And again, you could read this here. Again, this is off of BGR, I think it is. BGR.com. Like I said, I get so many alerts, so many different things they pop out. I can't put them all on. I really can't. We'd be here for hours if I went through it. I pick out certain things that I feel may be of help, or may just throw the information out there to you guys. But you might want to check this out too. Also, another thing is you might want to listen to if you are an eBay seller. You should check out eBay Radio. They have pretty good things there. On Tuesdays they have the eBay Power Seller Hour, and that goes on, I think, from 11 o'clock Pacific time, and over here in New York, I'm in the East Coast, it's 2 p.m. and it goes on till 5 p.m. on Tuesdays. And on Thursdays it's the same thing, 2 p.m. on New York, the East Coast time, and it goes till 4 o'clock. So one lasts till 5, that's with the Power Seller hour, and the other one is from 4 o'clock. That's just the regular eBay. That's where they do talk and people come on and answer questions. But you might want to check into that. Moving right along here. Here's this is a pretty sad story here. Suits, crew, madam, staff collapse Monarch Airline. Now this is over there in the UK, I believe. I feel bad. I think there was a total of putting 2,000 out of work. The airline, they went out, and it says former staff are selling memorabilia on eBay, including hats, life jackets. The online auction site has been inundated with items for unemployed crew unemployed crews. And the airline went through an administration earlier this month, putting 2,000 out of work. And I feel bad because they're selling their uniforms, they're selling things they have just to make money, and until they find new jobs. Just like it says here, the online auction site has been inundated with items from unemployed crew desperate for money while they find new jobs. It's a shame, it really is. I went through it last year in June of 2016. I lost my job. I don't know what the story with this one. I didn't read the whole story, but my job went overseas, along with 1,000 of us lost our jobs, from what I understand, and they went overseas. So that's when I ended up becoming, for now, a full-time eBay seller, and it's okay. It's moving, but not the way I planned. But anyway, that's what's going on, and you can read that in the dailymail.com/daily. Over here, dailymail.co.uk, and you can click in the news, and I'm sure this will pop up, and you can read the article if you want to read the whole thing. It's sad. It really is. I mean, I know that feeling. I've been doing the same thing. When I lost my job, I was selling stuff I didn't need, and outside of thrifting, I was selling personal items just to make ends meet, so to speak. But anyway, same thing with this. I think we went through this already. Scalped iPhones, particularly going for huge premiums on eBay. We already know that, so I'm going to bump out of that. This is another one about the iPhone. iPhone X models are flooding Craigslist now and eBay amid the 6-week shipping estimates. Now this is the time, from what I understand, I was talking to my daughters. They were saying that if you're going to upgrade to the iPhone X, you would have to do it this month, so you do your pre-orders in there. However, they didn't decide to get it, thank God, because I think it's a waste of money, to be honest with you, because they just upgraded to the iPhone 8, I think is the other one. And how much more bells and whistles you want? I mean, give me a break. So I'm glad they're not going for this here. But I mean, look at the prices. I mean, this is ridiculous. Here, look at this. All right, when you see the other prices on the other articles I showed you, this one here is $16.75. All right, you're getting a lot of gigabyte space. I mean, you definitely need a lot, because people today, they do a lot of video recording, they download music and so on and so forth. But I mean, that's a ridiculous price. I mean, I don't think, I don't know. Like I said, I never bought a brand new Apple iPhone. I got mine pre-owned, and this is crazy. I wouldn't spend, even if I had the money, I wouldn't spend that kind of money, But that's what's going on with that. So we're gonna bump out of that. I think I see something else with Apple. Yeah, okay. Apple iPhone pre-orders top 60,000. We went through that already. Here's another one here from TechCrunch. You can read this article. It says iPhone X pre-orders are being scalped on eBay for $15 on average. So we already know that because we just covered that topic. But if you want to read different articles, the way from different companies, you could get a little more insight And they got the prices here too, you know, 1375, 1380, and so on and so forth. I'm still these ones here still crack me up. If anybody pays this kind of money for these, if these are just for one, which most likely it is, these people really. And you got and look, this one here has watches. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something about that, folks. Don't get misled with watches. Okay, a lot of people watch these things with these ridiculous prices because you know why they're watching, right? Because they want to see if there's somebody out there that's really going to spend $60,000 on an iPhone. That's why they're watching. I might myself watch just to see if somebody would really buy it. And let me tell you something else. Just because it says it's sold, it doesn't necessarily mean it actually sold, because you got to actually see the transaction if it actually went through. You know, just because, you know what I'm saying? Because someone hits that sold button or buy it now button, it doesn't mean this transaction is completed unless unless it's actually purchased. So don't be misled with that. But this one here is showing 44 watching. These are not potential watches. I doubt it, because look at over here, right underneath it, it's got 210 new. Look, 210 new and refurbished from 1475. Okay, so you know that these people watching this here, they're just going to see if this is going to sell at that price. And I got news for you. If it is, either the person's very naive, or they just have so much money to blow on a phone, you know, something like to talk about. Maybe it's a conversational piece. Yeah, I see this phone. I paid $60,000. You'd be stone cold crazy to do that. But anyway, that'll be interesting to see that there. This guy, it's really crazy. You can see the news. All these different sites are picking up this stuff. And we're going to bump out of TechCrunch. And if you want to read that article, that's on TechCrunch.com. Another one I got here. This is the one we've seen before, our e-commerce bites. And that's basically it. We've already seen that there. So I'm going to bump out of this here. I go bump in here. So, folks, you see, that's what we got going on with this here. And there is the article I just want to check out. I want to read it to you guys. I don't normally read articles out of the magazine, but this one here came out of Internet Retailer. Okay, and it says blurred lines or whatever, but I just want to read a thing really quick over here. And I find it kind of amusing, because people always seem to think that, you know, retail stores are dying, and you can see it's not a big page here, it's just here, just this part right here. All right, so I don't mind reading this to you guys. It says newsflash, stores aren't dead or even dying. Okay, a lot of people will say, I had this discussion with my family members too, that you know, a lot of retailers are closing up. They are closed stores because e-commerce is hurting the business, and there's no doubt about it. And you know, it's sad, because some of the stores, like iconic stores, like, you know, JCPenney, well, not JCPenney, but Sears is going to close up some of their stores. We have one over here in my area, my town, that was been there for like 30 years or better. And they're going to close up because the sales are very slow in that store. And they're right across the street from the mall, which might say, well, maybe that's what's hurting it. But it's not a flagship. It's not like in a mall like a flagship stores. Like we have Target and we have Macy's in that particular mall. We have a couple of big malls on here on the island here. I'm in the suburbs, and a lot of those stores have flagship stores. Like, a matter of fact, for those who live in the New York area and Long Island, they have Roosevelt Field. I think it was last year or the year before, they just put a Neiman Marcus in there. And that Neiman Marcus store, it's amazing, because I went in there with my daughter, and I said, you know, my daughters, and we looked around, and I seen a shirt. If I understood the price right, it was $750 for a shirt. I don't know the name. It was a designer make. I can't remember offhand. I had no interest in it. Even if I was a super multi-millionaire, I would not spend money like that. Okay, people say, well, you say that now, but if you had millions and millions of dollars, you would. No, I know myself. I'm very frugal when it comes to that, even if I had that kind of money. I am not one to squander money like that there. As a matter of fact, I'm a very conservative person. I'd probably be like in a class like Warren Buffett. Okay, there's a man that lives in the same house he lived in for 35 years. If you read a story about him or hear about him, and when he was 60 Minutes was doing a segment on him. And he was driving a Cadillac, an older one at the time. Well, he must have bought it brand new, but it was older when they when they did the segment with him. And you know, the news reporter, you know, the person interviewing him said, you have this, you live in the same house over here. He goes, and you've been living for 35 years. It's like a sprawling ranch, nice house. I didn't see the whole picture up, but I heard it's like a sprawling ranch. And he says, he goes, I could buy you a beautiful home. He goes, that's no problem. He goes, but I like it where I am. And then she said, you drive around in an older car, like, a Cadillac and stuff. I think he had a Cadillac. But he must have bought it brand new, but was older when he did it. And again, there's a man that's worth, $60-something billion. And one of his foods he was talking about, he likes to go to McDonald's. I don't know if he says his favorite food over there when he goes to McDonald's is a Big Mac. There's a man that doesn't let money go to his head, okay? And that's the type of people I admire like that, because, he has it. He could flaunt it if he wants. He could buy a $500 million ocean line, cruise ship, whatever, yacht. He could buy a $40-50 million mansion. That stuff doesn't mean anything to him. That doesn't bother him. So some people say, well, if I had that money, I'd be living it up. Sure, you could, but that's not his thing. That's not his goal. It's not his, his thing in life. It's, just because he's worth all those billions of dollars, it doesn't mean he's going to flaunt. He's very conservative. He's a low-key guy, I remember hearing a story like that on 60 Minutes. They were talking about a multi-millionaire, and I was watching with my father. And the guy was, interview him again. And he goes, I'm worth, the guy says, you're worth millions of dollars. He goes, what do you spend your money? He goes, and the guy's like, you see this suit? He goes, I paid $50 for this suit. He goes, see the watch? He goes, I got this watch. He showed the guy the watch, the news guy. He goes, I paid $10 or $15 for it. There's a guy worth millions of dollars. He don't care. People don't care about money like that, flaunting it. Walking around with $3,000 on Armani suits or Gucci, like Bill Gates. When they did a segment of him or his wife, interviewing his wife, and the news, the guy that was interviewing, he's saying like, you're the richest woman in the world, whatever, and you dress very plain, and you don't put makeup on and stuff like that. And she came right out, and I love the woman for this here. She just came right out and told the person, I'm not a materialistic person. Material things don't bother her. They don't mean nothing to her. Some people may say, wow, if I had that kind of money, I'd be doing this, that, and the other thing. It doesn't bother them. It doesn't bother people like that. And that's why people like Gates and I think Mark Zuckerberg and stuff like that, all the billionaires, they have this thing going on where they want to donate either 95% of their wealth away. Let's face it, you can't take it with you. And they want to donate it to charities. So that's a great thing. That's a great thing. And if you hear them talk, a lot of them feel that what they got an enlightened society. They got what they earned it, whatever, and they want to give back. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, the kids, they probably would like to get all of that wealth. But I'm sure, the people, all those billionaires that have sons and daughters, are going to be well provided for. There's no doubt about it. But apparently, they're going to give a lot of their wealth away. It's going to probably be endowed to, different charities, to college institutions, and all these different things. It's going to be maybe medical research. I know Bill Gates is involved with the medical research, like he does things of that nature. They do a lot, believe me. And a lot of billionaires, will do that there. And let me tell you something. Bill Gates wrote a book, if I'm not mistaken, The Art of Philanthropy. And I say to myself, if I had that kind of money, I would be helping people out left and right. And like he was saying, I think he made quote, it was something in the book that, if I understood it right, it's hard to give money away to big organizations because, and from what I understand with philanthropy, is that you could be giving money to the wrong causes. There's organizations, I'm not going to talk about them, but there are organizations out there that when you make all these contributions, you could do your own research. Just type on Google and see who's good and who's bad, and you will find, I'm mentioning names, but you will find out that some of these companies, and they're pretty prominent companies, that say make contributions, a monthly whatever contribution, and you find out later on that that money that's supposed to be going to certain organizations or whatever, or what they're supposed to be fulfilling with, are not being fulfilled. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to get into that there, but it's pretty interesting. But anyway, I don't want to keep rambling on. I want to just read this to you, this story really quick. It's the newsflash: stores aren't dead or even dying. The reason why I want to bring this up is because, like I said, I had my family members. We talked about it, and it was saying how a lot of the retail sector is being hurt. A lot of stores are closing up. because e-commerce, the internet is taking a lot of stores closing up, helping them close them out, making them go out of business. So let me just read this article really quick here. And again, just for your information, this is not smoke and mirrors. I got it off the Internet Retailer. Okay, that's where this information came. And this is for November 2017. As you can see right there, this is not old. It's not something that was old. Okay, so let me just read it really quick. And this is for stores or people that think, oh, the business is going out, stores are going out. Okay, it says, you've seen the headline, retail is dead, stores are dead. After all, retail chains like Toys R Us, Gymboree, True Religion, Route 21, Gander Mountain have all filed for bankruptcy protection this year. There is just one small problem with the narrative. It isn't true. Fundamentally, retail is healthy. Overall, retail sales rose 4.4% in the second quarter, and e-commerce sales jumped 12.1%. Okay, so we were saying, well, yeah, there you go. The e-commerce. I know where we're going to go with that, but anyway, and the stores aren't going anywhere. In fact, there will be 1,326 net new U.S. stores opening this year across the range of categories from supermarkets to specialty merchants to mass merchandisers, according to the Retail Research and Advisory from IHL Group. What is true is that retail is rapidly evolving, and merchants are eager to find ways to offer value to and build relationships with shoppers amid an increasingly competitive retail environment. That's why shoe retailer DSW is experimenting with shoe rentals and shoe storage. It's why Nordstrom is experimenting with a new smaller store design that features personalized stylists, a juice bar, a nail bar, but no inventory to purchase. And it's why a number of retailers that built their brands online are venturing offline to operate stores. And then it talks about starting at page 4, we'll explore originally online. It goes on with that. So you can see it's not, it sounds like a contradiction here. Like people say, well, a lot of stores are closing up. At the same time, many new stores are opening up. People got to go with you got to go with the flow. You got to go with the times. Unfortunately, that's what hurt Kodak. Kodak was a great company. They made the Kodak cameras. They still have their products and stuff like that. But I think what hurt them is they didn't get out of that 35 millimeter film format. And once the digital cameras came into play, I think they do have them, but they got into the game too late. I think if they would have followed the trend right from the get-go when everybody else was doing it, Sony, Canon, Fuji, whatever, all those camera companies were getting into it. That's what they should have done. That's what Kodak should have done. But yeah, you remember that Kodachrome, right? That's the film, whatever. But that's what I think hurt them as well. You got to kind of like go with the flow sometimes. If you see certain things ain't working, try to change up and see what you could do to make it better. Let's face the facts, folks. I'm looking over here. These here is what's taking a lot of the business away too. Pride from cameras. I'm not saying people ain't going to use cameras, but today, now this is the iPhone 5S. The new cameras, like the iPhone Tech, they're doing that X, whatever, the 8s, they have great cameras on them. As far as I'm concerned, take great videos, just as good as a regular video camera. Now, I have Sony products. I use Sony as my favorite as far as electronics, and Panasonic. And I have a Sony digital camera that has super night vision on, stuff like that. And I also use a Sony digital CyberShot, which takes my pictures for eBay listings and family pictures as well. I had those cameras since I bought them back brand new back in 2002, 2003. Never had a problem with it. I love the Sony product. I have no problem. And I like Panasonic as well. I use Panasonic for my stereo use and stuff like that. And in regards to my computers, I'm an HP man. I have HP printers, laptops, and HP webcam. That's what I'm videotaping right now with, doing this video with. And I love it. I like those. I like those three companies as far as like for computers. HP is my brand. I had a Sony iPhone. I still have it on sale. The reason why I traded up to it because this phone seems to be pretty popular. The Sony phone is a nice phone. It works great. It's got a lot of bells and whistles too. The only reason why I did upgrade to it, the iPhone, is because this has a little more functionality and than that. It's an Android phone, but it works great. But this is probably what's going to hurt the camera company as time go on. because people ain't gonna need cameras as much. I mean, you see something you want. I mean, it's a versatile tool. I know that digital cameras do too, but who wants to walk around with a camera, a digital camera strapped around your neck when you can keep this in your pocket, keep it in your holster, like I keep it in my holster here. Why would you want to walk around a big camera to take pictures? You could do this on the fly. You see something, boom, you take your camera, you start videotaping. You want to take a snapshot of your family, boom, you got a thing. It's a handheld computer. It does multi things. I mean, you name it. I can't see anything that it doesn't do. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys as far as like with the stores going out. Yes, there are stores going to be closing up. FAO Schwartz closed up I think last month or the month before. Yes, Sears is closing some stores. Macy's is closing some stores. But at the same time, when they go out, there's going to be new. They're not going out of business as far as I know. Over here in New York, we have the Macy's on 34th Street, and every year, this time of the year, not this month, they will have the Thanksgiving Day Parade to kick off to the holiday season, the Christmas season. And if that was to go out, that particular one, I know Federate department stores owns Macy's. I think that would be the biggest mistake they've ever made. They ever closed that store and they did away with the Thanksgiving Day Parade. I mean, they probably would still have it, but that's noted all over probably the world maybe. Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I mean, everybody knows when the Thanksgiving parade comes. It's put out by Macy's. They're the ones that put on that parade. And that's been going on for God knows how many years, 50, 60, 100 years, who knows. But that would be crazy if they ever did, close that store on 34th Street. If you've never been to it, I've been to it a few times, not many times, but a few times. It's a phenomenal store. They recently remodeled, I think, the inside. I was watching videos on it, and they did the inside over. And when I went, they had the wooden escalators, and that's where, from what I was told, that's where they shot that movie, The Miracle on 34th Street. So if you're ever in New York, check it out. It's a piece of iconic history. You might want to go and say, hey, you could walk in the store. You can say, hey, this is where they filmed that movie there. Miracle on 34th Street, because that's what I was told. And it's really a phenomenal store. I mean, and it is packed. It is packed. I went there. Gosh, I don't know how to be. Probably late morning with my family, and we were walking around there. It's like bumper to bumper people, man. You're pushing in the store, going here and there. I don't know if it was near this time of the year, but oh my gosh, it was phenomenal though. And my mom got restored. She brought me there when my parents would bring me when I was a little kid. I don't remember offhand because I was very little at the time, and I remember my mother saying, I used to buy your clothes here, your shoes there. My mother loved Macy's. It was one of her favorite stores back then. He had Gimbel's. Gimbel's, on the other hand, is a retail store that went out altogether. As far as I know, they used to be not too far from each other. That's why they talk at the Miracle on 34th Street. Macy's and Gimbel's, they were there at the same time, although Macy's is still there and Gimbel's is gone. That was another store that was back in the day that people used to shop at. We had a Gimbel's here on Long Island, and when that went out of business, that was kind of sad too. But it is what it is. And matter of fact, Fortunoffs, we had a Fortunoffs over here in Westbury. Again, for people that live in the area, in the island, that place went out too, and we could never figure it out because every time we went to that Fortunoffs store, it was always crowded. Every department was always crowded, from what I remember. I mean, I don't remember any department where you didn't see people on the floor. Customers walking around buying stuff. Jewelry department, where they buy all the dinnerware and stuff like that, always mobbed. And that's why I can never understand, a lot of us that live on the island can never understand why they closed their doors. But I guess things have changed. Maybe they didn't keep up. Maybe who knows? I don't know. I don't know what brought it out, but they're gone. I know they had the Fortunoffs backyard where they sell patio furniture, but it really downsized from a big store to like, I don't know. I guess I can't even. It's probably like the size of a Harrow's swimming pool company, because they sell outdoor furniture and stuff. They downsized to that. I don't even know if that's still around, to be honest with you. And they attached a mall to that. They made that Macy Fortunoffs was attached. They made a mini mall out of it. And to be honest with you, again, if you've been there, I've been there a while back with my kids, my family, and a lot of merchants left. It's like a ghost town. I don't know what the future of that mall is going to be, what they're going to do with it, but it's in dire straits. I mean, you have a couple of companies there. Again, for people that live in the island, you get the cheesecake factory there. It's like a restaurant there. That's the only one probably on the second floor, probably the only merchant up there. And then you got the P.F. Chang's, which is a Chinese restaurant, an exclusive Chinese restaurant, I think so anyway. That's there, and I think you might have a couple other stores there, but it's like a ghost town up there on the second floor, because I think it's only 2 floors, and it's a shame, because I remember when they opened up, there were a lot of retailers up there, and then it started dwindling down. The more and more stores were closing up. These little merchants that couldn't afford the rents, and they eventually one by one left. There was a company called Cinnabon. There was a Barrows Pizza up there. All these stores that were in that food court are all gone. And if you go up there and you look around, it's like there's nobody up there, except for that maybe 1 or 2 companies up there that like I said, the Cheesecake Factory restaurant. That's about it. I don't know anybody else. Everybody's gone. They're all gone. And it's a shame. It's they invested all this money in a mall. It's a nice mall too. It's really nice looking mall, and they're all gone. But anyway, if you like what I do with these videos, if you got anything out of the reseller news video, I want to just shorten this up because I got another one I want to talk about some things. And if you want to give me a thumbs up, that'd be great. If that's fine. But if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, and you want to be up on things like when I do the reseller news, or when I do the sneak peek videos, demo videos, and intro videos, if you want to be aware of that there. Like I said, again, I do those videos to kind of like enlighten the potential eBay buyers, and the reseller news is to help out give a little information to other resellers and buyers, just to show you what's out there. I'm sure you guys could do the same thing. You could probably say, well, I don't need to go to your site. I could just, check it out myself. But these are things maybe that you don't really think about, I mean, I didn't think about it at first until I started getting involved with this business. For me, like I said, when I lost my job back in 2016, it was a rebirth of me trying to get into something new. And I figure, that old saying, one thing leads to the other. So you figure you're selling on eBay, why not, offer that other type of service, which is the reseller news, and so on and so forth. I do videos. I like them. I enjoy them, and if it could help out, if people can get anything out of it, even like if you watch part of the segments, and let's say you speed up the video, say this is way too long or boring, I don't want to watch it. If you can get something out of it, a little tidbit of information, just to give a little spark or something, you never know. Sometimes, little, like they say, good things come in little packages, So you might get something out of it, or it might be something you might not watch. I mean, when you go onto the computer, you may just be a person that says, well, when I go onto the computer, I do my banking, I do my word processing, and if I do go on eBay, I check out stuff there to buy. Who knows? You might want to check out other stuff. But anyway, I will talk to you in the next video, guys. Have a great day. And I wish you all the best in your endeavors and stuff. And I hope this news, whatever, if it helps out in any way, you got something out of it. Talk to you soon, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.